videos, several of you have asked me what's in my to-go bag. Now, I'm going to show you what's in my quilt to-go bag, and I'm going to show you how to put one together. And you don't really have to buy much to fill this up. I think you just need to dig a little bit in your quilt room. If you have a quilt bag, an on-the-go quilt bag, tell me about it in the comments below, and tell me some of the things that you keep in your on-the-go quilt bag. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the bag. Now, I didn't buy a specific bag for my on-the-go quilt bag. I just used what I had. Now, I feel sure that many of you have lots of these types of bags in your quilt room or quilt space or wherever you have quilting stuff. Maybe they're just in your closet. Maybe you don't even keep them in your quilt room. But I'm going to show you some of the different bags that you could use. Now, this is just an old bag that our Quilt Guild was selling, and I like it because it has lots of pockets in it. Now, it's getting old and some of the stuff is kind of flaking off a little bit. I may have to get a new one before too long, but I like ones that have lots of pockets. But you can use bags like these. Here's a little bag. It has some pockets on the inside, and it comes with an additional little bag that you could use for storage. So you don't, the whole point is you don't have to buy one. You've got them. Oh, remember the 31 bags? These have lots of pockets in them, side pockets, front pockets, pockets on the inside. Or you can just use one of these plain bags. So don't run out and buy one. Just find one that you already have and use what you have. Now, I put my bag together using things that I already had. I have a box like this, but I keep duplicates of things. You know how you go to retreats and sometimes you get duplicates of things, or sometimes when you order stuff, they'll put free things in your box. Well, this is how I supplied my bag, through this and just duplicates in my quilt room. I mean, for example, here's a seam ripper, brand new. Here's a tape measure, brand new. New pins. Here's another tape measure, needles, thimbles, marking pins. You get the idea. So go to your quilt room and get things that are duplicates, so you don't have to, this shouldn't be costing you anything. And the reason that I have a separate bag for this, the reason that I have an on-the-go bag is because I have enough stuff to fill it, and then when it's time to go to a quilt retreat, my bag's already ready. Or if I'm going to a sew day, I just have to grab my bag. Now, I use duplicates so that I don't have to get in here and use what's in here throughout, my quilting time at home. This bag is just my to-go bag, and I had plenty to fill it, and I know you will too. I want to show you the things that are in my quilt bag. Now, I'm just going to fill my bag while we're at it. Even though I'm pre-starching, I still use a misting bottle. So I'm going to put my misting bottle there, and I'm going to put a bottle of Best Press over here. And I do still use Best Press because not all my fabrics are pre-starched, not all my UFOs are pre-starched, and I do have extras of these. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch. I have one extra of these. Okay? So these pockets on the outside are good for your bottles of water and Best Press. Okay, now this is another ArtBin container. As you know, I like these ArtBin containers, and I'll put a link in the description for this also. But let me just show you. I like this for my scissors, and in here I have my scissors. I have sewing needles. I just have some embroidery floss just in case I might need it for something. More needles. I have a little small ruler, my seam ripper, and a tape measure. Now, you don't have to have a fancy little container like this. You can just use a Ziploc bag. Okay, now I also like these see-through bags. I'll see if I can put a link for these in there too. I think I purchased these at a quilt shop. I'm not sure. I'll look for a link for these. But let me show you what's in this bag. And I like the see-through bag so I can see through and see what's in there. And again, you don't have to have a fancy bag like this. You can use a Ziploc bag. Okay. Now, let's see what all I have in here. Okay, I just have a pill bottle that I took the label off of for my sharps. If I break a needle, I put that in there. Or a pin. This is the thread treatment. I can't think of what that's called. The beeswax that you put on your thread when you're sewing on bindings. Another tape measure. A little bit of Velcro. My good fabric scissors. The others, those were paper scissors. A screwdriver that has a flat head and a Phillips head. 2 different colors of thread. I need to replenish that one. That one's getting low. I put in an extra thing of sewing machine needles. This is just a little flashlight. My wonderful triangular thread cutter. And I'll put a link in there for that too. Okay, and then I put my pins in a little box like this. And then I put it in a Ziploc bag just in case that pops open. Okay. Well, I don't usually put that in there. And then this is one of those things that pop up, a little trash can. I like to take one of those. Okay, and then this is my little sewing kit. You can see I take plenty of sewing machine needles. But this has a little cleaner in it, some Q-tips, and some oil for my sewing machine. And this is just a gum container that I've just upcycled. My bobbins. Okay, so all that's going in my bag. Along with my pins. Okay, and of course there's my rotary cutter. In this clear through bag, I just have notepads, little post-it notes, and pens and pencils and a Sharpie marker. So that's going in my bag. Now, this is just a Ziploc bag, and this just has some, things that I might need that aren't really related to sewing, but they come in handy at a quilt retreat. So, in this bag, I just have some things that come in handy. Band-Aids, an emery board, Q-tips, lotion, chapstick. I have to have earplugs. If I'm sharing a room with somebody, I have to have earplugs. I love these thermacare wraps for when your neck or back's hurting, and then also another little first aid kit. I also put together a little ouch pouch. It has some aspirin in it. It has an eyeglass cleaner, another emery board, some alcohol prep pads, and a couple more Band-Aids. And I just made these out of the recycled gum containers. So this is like necessities, especially if I'm gonna stay the night. I like to keep these extras in my to-go bag. Now, I always keep a baggie with Ziploc bags in it, and I have different sizes of Ziploc bags in my Ziploc bag. As As you can see, I love these gum containers, and I chew a lot of gum. Okay, so these are just notepads. This is just a good way to store them. And then in this little baggie, I have things that I use to write on quilts with. For example, I have, well, let me just pour some of this out and show you. There's my micron pens that I use. My silver pens. These are fabric markers. I do use these little Bic Velocity pencils to mark my half square triangles. I have white fabric pencils and refills from my Fons and Porter's marking pencils. But that's what's in this bag. And again, it's that clear through, see-through bag that I love to use. And that's my to-go bag. This works out great. Now, I didn't put any big rulers in there because they don't fit good in here, and I only take the rulers that I need to finish specific projects. So as you can see, you can do this on a budget, that's for sure. And I use this all the time. At the last quilt retreat that I went to, at least 2 of my friends asked me if I had something and that they needed, and I found it in my on-the-go bag. Okay, so before you go, tell me if you have an on-the-go quilt bag again. Tell me what you keep in it. If you have any questions, put those in the comments below, and I'll put the links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have fun quilting.